We named our son Owen because that's what we figure we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. I feel like a guest, you know. This is a cool city. Everybody's so nice, you know. There's a lot of different. I'm a Lebanese American. Let me just start there, right? So the Lebanese in me is very passionate, very quick to anger, and the American in me isn't really sure where Lebanon is. So I'm trying. I'm also married, you guys. I married the girl of my dreams. I'm very lucky. Yeah, she's the coolest. We actually figured out the foolproof way to make a marriage work. What we do is my wife, Serena, makes all the little decisions, right? So I don't have to sweat any of that, right? Then I, of course, make the big decisions, and then she decides which decisions are big or little. So, yeah. Works out perfectly for her, and I pick our cereal. So whatever, I'm just saying. She's the best. Right? One of the things I love about her is she keeps me grounded, right? She calls me on my bull, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of these idealists. I got the answers for everything. I'm arguing with people in my living room trying to solve the Middle East, right? Like, here's what Israel-Palestine needs to do. They need to start from nonviolence and understanding. And I'm always like, would you please shut up, all right? You're not going to solve Israel-Palestine from our living room. Don't you have a sister that doesn't talk to you in a year and a half? Why don't you get your whole family to unblock you on Facebook and then you solve the Middle East? She's right. We got a little boy, right? We named our son Owen because that's what we figure we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. Yeah, you got kids? Those things are not cheap, right? People are like, dude, you got to start saving for his college pronto, Tom. That's 30 grand a year minimum. Like, well, then he's going to be home colleged. Yeah, I don't have that kind of money laying around. He's going to the North Carolina School of Home College. I don't know if you have kids. My son's got it made, right? He doesn't even realize how lucky he's had it as a little boy, all right? First of all, he's got a father who believes in nonviolence. Yeah, which he tests all the time. I don't know about you. It's amazing how the whole day can turn around. Everybody's happy, the sun is shining down, laughter's in the air, and then that little punk won't put his shoes on. Like, let's go, put your shoes on. How many times did I tell you? It's frustrating, right? Martin Luther King had kids. He was committed to nonviolence, right? I don't know how he did it. Like, let's go, put your shoes on or we are marching. I've had it. They won't eat their vegetables again. Coretta, grab the picket signs. Here we go, around the kitchen. Eat your peas, eat your peas. Well, I don't know. It's not easy, right? My wife wasn't always on board with the nonviolence thing, right? Raising kids is hard. You know, when I met my wife, she wanted to have 4 or 5 kids, and then we had Owen, and she was like, this is it. One day he's like, why can't I be a big brother? Well, maybe you should have thought of that when you were 1. Maybe slept through the night a few more times. Yeah, there's a reason why kids are so cute. It's so you won't throw them in a dumpster at 3 in the morning. Yeah, and if you're not laughing, you don't have kids. That's my philosophy on that. But that nonviolence thing is hard, right? But that's the thing. If you want to see nonviolence in the world, right, if you read about it, they all say if you want to see it in the world, first you got to be it in yourself, right? You have to be it in yourself, and then it reflects from you to the rest of the world. All of them say that. Not Buddha, you know, Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, they all say you got to do that. So I'm trying, but it's hard. It really is. It's amazing how much you can love something and want to throw it into a wall at the same time. But I was reading about Gandhi and something that stuck with him about nonviolence when he was coming up from his dad, right, where he got in a bunch of trouble at school. His dad was furious with him. Comes out from meeting with the teachers. He's all mad. He's like, all right, Gandhi, obviously I'm not doing a good enough job as a father. And he punished himself, and he walked the 10 miles back from the school, right? And that stuck with Gandhi somehow, right? So I'm reading that, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. I live a mile from the school, and I'm not doing that. But it did stick with me, right? And Owen's like 4 or 5, and he's not listening. I'm getting super frustrated by it. I'm like, all right, Owen, listen up. Obviously, your mother is not doing a good enough job. So start listening to me right now, or I'm going to have to smack her, and that's on you. Yes. I would never do that. No, it's a joke. That's the point. I'm a nonviolence guy, remember? But I don't know. I think that's the worst part about being a parent is everybody else trying to tell you how to raise your kids. Right? At my mother-in-law's house, before Owen was potty trained, he takes a crap in his diaper, right? I'm like, let's go, buddy. You got poopies up on the bed. We got to change you. He's like, no poop, just pee-pee. He's running through the house. I'm like, dude, that is a lie. Come on, man, you stink. You're burning daddy's nostril with that stench. You think I can't smell that? You're like poo-pourri for the whole living room. My mother-in-law's like, Tom, don't talk to Owen that way. You're going to give him a complex. Yeah, you know what, Evelyn? Thank you, but first of all, I want my son to have a complex about taking a crap in his pants, all right? That's not something I need him to be cool with later in life. All right, sitting around on a job interview and like halfway through, the guy's, oh, did you just drop a deuce in your pants right here in the interview? I'm like, yes, sir, I did. Very confident about that. My daddy'd be around a minute to change me. Let's continue this interview. When do I start? I don't need him that confident. It's easy to be a parent when you're not one. That's the easiest time, right? I was a great father before I was a father. You know? Me and my wife were going back on things we said we wouldn't do immediately. We didn't know. We're like, we're not using a pacifier. That is stupid. Yeah, like 2 days in, we're like, please put this little thing in your mouth. Why does he cry so much? Because Owen was crying. For the first 6 weeks he was alive, if he wasn't on my wife's boobs, he was crying. Right? Which I understand that in a weird way. Yeah. First 6 weeks I knew her, same thing from me. I gotta be honest. And by the way, I did not get those back in the same pristine condition that I lent them to him in. All right? Gonna remember that with future valuables. But I was stressing, right? I wasn't ready for all the crying. I'm like, why doesn't he like us? Shouldn't this be automatic? He seems so unhappy. So I'm trying to analyze it and break it down, right? Because that's how my little mind works. And here's what I came up with. Here's why. Because before Owen met us, his entire existence was spent inside of my wife in total peace and protection and comfort. He's in his own, like, sea of amniotic fluid. He's totally connected with God and the universe. He's got an IV that feeds him and takes away all of his waste. Just peace and darkness. And then out of nowhere, he is pounded and crushed violently through a tiny little hole so intensely his skull is reshaped into a cone. The doctor reaches in, yanks his smushed blue butt out by the neck, disconnects his lifeline to the world, shoves him on my wife's chest. I'm all in his face with my coffee breath. Hey, buddy, how's it going? I'm your big alien-headed daddy. Did y'all not have this experience? I'm looking at him. He's scared. He's confused. He's all covered in gook. They're wiping him down. They literally pull him out of my wife's arms. They walk him across the room to like a buffet French fry heat lamp thing. Right, and then they shove a thermometer in his butt. Welcome to the world, little boy. And then they prick his heel for blood. They squirt a bunch of chemicals in his eyes. They take him naked and put him on a cold metal scale that freaks him out. Then the grandma paparazzi kicks in with their flash bulbs and their cameras. Hold him up, pa, 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 pa. Look how cute he is. He's not cute. That's the worst he's ever gonna look his entire life. You ever seen a white baby? Like chickens at the grocery store. They're hideous. He's got blood smeared all over him. He's got like a chip clip on his stomach. His little baby boys are swollen up like the Elephant Man. It's a freak show. There's a weird tar coming out of his butt that nobody even warned me about first. I'm just like, what the heck? My baby's making hash? No wonder these things are so valuable. And then they're not done messing with him. They take him away from there. They give him a bath that freaks him out. They give him another shot that makes him cry. They stick him in clothes he's never even conceived of before. Then they just hand him back to alien face like I'm going to fix it all, you know? I don't have a clue. He finally gets a little bit of sleep. They jar him awake. They strap him to a board and circumcise him. Yeah, I'm walking around for 6 weeks like, why don't you love and trust us? We're here for you, little man. Like, wah! Yeah, it's no wonder we're a violent species with that little introduction. And I went back and forth on that surgery, right? I didn't know if we were going to do it or not. I was doing the research on my end. I was like, this just looks like it's cosmetic reasons and sort of archaic. We're not doing this. But peer pressure is crazy, right? Especially in the Southeast. Even my doctor was like, Tom, you got to do the circumcision. You don't want your son to look different than you. That'll be traumatic for him. I'm like, traumatic? All right. So we did it, and now I realize, I don't know what my dad looks like. That would be far more traumatic if I did, I think. Are we really gonna have days? Like, put it right here next to Daddy's, son. Yeah, I hope not. Yeah. I like being a dad, right? But it's weird, right? Right after he was born, I realized I took a notch down in who my wife loved in the family, you know? I mean, she loves me, but she has a different love for this thing. This thing. My son. Yeah. After he was born, she was like, I want to get a tattoo of Owen's name on my foot or my ankle or something, which I think is cool, but I've known my wife a long time. She has no tattoos. So I'm giving her crap like, that's cool, baby, get a tattoo, but you know what? I don't see any Tom tattoos on you anywhere. She's like, yeah, I know, but this is our son. This is permanent. Yes, ha 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 ha. She is hilarious. It's funny, I was joking with her about divorce, right? We would never get divorced, we're soulmates, but I was giving her crap. I'm like, hey, honey, if we got divorced, would you take half of my income? She's like, heck yeah. I'm like, that's cool, because right now you get it all, so it'd be good to see some of that coming back. This direction. Yeah. Like I say, she's awesome, but we don't have everything in common, I can tell you that. Especially like physiologically, you know, like, let me ask you guys, this is like, when you shut your eyes, do your eyelids work? Does it get dark? Right? Dark, right? Somehow, not for my wife, you know? Be laying there in bed next to her reading, she's like, hey, could you turn your light off? I'm trying to sleep. Can't you just shut your eyes like I do when you're reading? She's like, no, you can still see light through. It keeps me awake. No, there's darkness. Dark, black. Oh, it's like being at a hotel. The thermostat has a light on it. It'll keep me awake. And I'm hanging a sock over a thermostat at 3 in the morning in strange conditions. Honey, I think you left your phone charging upside down in the kitchen. Can you run in there, please? Keep me awake. Can you shut off the moon? The moon is really bright. Yeah, I hope she doesn't die in her sleep. That light will keep her up for eternity, you know what I'm saying? Yes. She loves the ghost shows. She loves ghost hunter shows and like all these, you know, and HGTV. She loves HGTV, which is, I have a house now, and let me tell you, because of that station, I have a list of things to fix on my house that I will never, ever catch up with. You know what I need? I need a husband. That's what I need. I need someone who can fix the gutters and paint. I just want to be the guy that my wife is cheating on her husband with, to be honest. Yes. So, home remodel shows and ghost shows. If they could find a way to combine those into one show, like haunted house flippers or something, oh my God, she would never leave the house for that, you know what I'm saying? There's a remodel in the kitchen over here, and they're fighting ghosts over here, and you know what? We've been talking to the ghosts, and they really think that French doors would work better for them. Yeah. The booing you hear isn't them trying to scare you. They just really hate your wallpaper choices so far. It's weird for her to be married to a comic too, right? People are like, oh, you're married to a comic. That must be crazy and wacky. Is he funny all the time? She's like, funny all the time? You just watched his show. He's not even funny for all that time. That's the stuff he's writing down and working on. You know? She's fun. Now we're raising this boy, and that's our thing, right? We got to figure out what we're going to teach him. He's looking to me and my wife to teach him about the world. Well, he is in trouble, you know, because I don't know nothing. That's all I do know for sure is that I don't know anything, right? That's the Socrates thing. The only real wisdom is knowing you don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain that to my son. Like, pay attention to me, O. Look at me. Everything Daddy teaches you from here on out, probably wrong. So make sure you double check with Mommy, because apparently she knows everything. You know? She does. He's cool, right? He's so filled with wonderment. He wants to know what everything is. It's amazing to watch. Like he would wake up. He hasn't even finished opening his eyes yet. He's got questions. He's like, Daddy, where do they come up with words? That's the first thing on your mind waking up. I don't know, son. Maybe the cavemen went, ooh, and that became blue, and then that evolved into cup. Yeah. Yeah, he looked at me like I was an idiot, you know? So I Googled it, and turns out I nailed it. All right, that's how we did it. But I love him, and I learn from him. You guys learn from your kids? I remember I learned compassion from him. He was like 4 or 5. He's really little. He's brushing his teeth. He jumps up to spit in the sink, and he racks his boys on the doorknob to the cabinet. Yeah, so I don't care how old you are, hitting yourself like that in my house equals funny, okay? So I'm laughing, right? And then I'm trying to make him feel better. I'm like, don't worry, buddy, that doesn't hurt anything like it's gonna. All right, you're gonna be okay. And he looks up and he's like, why would you laugh at me when I get hurt? I'm like, oh, did I? I'm sorry. Come on, buddy, laughter's the best medicine. It's like America's Funniest Videos. It hurts my feelings. I don't know, it broke my heart. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna laugh at him anymore. But that's hard. Because they're durable, and he gets hurt in funny ways, you know? He's being a smart butt, he goes to run away from me, he's perfect doorknob height, he's like, crack into a doorknob. Like, that's what you get! Football goes through his hands, smashes him in the face, it's just funny, you know? I'm trying, right? So I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. Then we're playing baseball in the driveway, like 2 or 3 days later, right? We play the tennis ball. He's pitching, and I'm batting, and I hit a line drive right back at him, smacks him right in the face. Yeah, I could tell he was hurt instantly, right? His eyes were all welling up with tears, right? So right after I got to first, boom, I'm over there, checking, right? I didn't laugh, I didn't giggle, I didn't stretch that into a double. That was a double, all right? That ball got away. I'm just like, way to keep your eye on the ball, son. Good job. Yeah, he laughed more at that than you did. Anyway. He plays sports now. He's a big sports fan now. He plays baseball, right? He started playing Little League Baseball. I don't know if any of y'all's kids play Little League sports or youth sports at all, but he started playing baseball, and so I had to start assistant coaching on his Little League Baseball team, right? Because that's the rule. If you want your kid to play, you coach, right? Otherwise, they're watching the coach's kid play, you know? Right? Did any of y'all coach your kids in sports? A couple of you? Yeah. It's an interesting thing, right? You're torn, right, between, first of all, it's weird because I love my son literally more than anything on the planet, and I don't even really like other people's kids that much. But it's easier to be nice to other people's children than it is your own when you're coaching them, right? Like one of them makes a mistake. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it, Sterling. Keep your head up, man. Get your glove down. Do your prep steps. You're going to get the next one. Come on, man. You're getting better, I promise you. Owen misses one. I'm like, Owen, how many times I got to tell you to do this right? Wife's like, you can't be yelling at him. I'm not yelling at him, all right? I'm coaching him. All right? You remind me of that famous quote, honey. I wish that my parents had coddled me more and not pushed me to be better at things. Yeah, that is a quote from no successful person ever, okay? I'm just trying to get him to do basics, right? My wife's like, you can't get so frustrated at these kids for not doing the basics, Tom. They couldn't even wipe their own butts a couple years ago. Like, honey, there are kids their age in China making iPhones right now, okay? They should be able to hit a cutoff, man. Let's go! Tuck your glove when you throw, or I'm going to have you stitching them in Indonesia with the other children. And I try to keep it light, but they don't always get my sense of humor. I'm like, hey, Ryan, you are leading the league in CWO average, buddy. Really? What's that, coach? Cries went out. Okay, stop it. Yes. So we found the biggest way to win is to just focus on the fundamentals, right? Keep your glove down, tuck your glove when you throw, and take your ADD medication on time. You know? Yes, it's the truth. And the hardest part about coaching, right, is what? The other parents, right? Yes, everybody thinks their kids are going to the major leagues. None of your kids are going to the major leagues, all right? Especially the ones being coached by a comedian in his part-time, okay? It's not happening. But they're all like, you're yelling at the kids too much. You're not yelling at the kids too much. You're the same guy. What are you talking? I got this kid, and it's always the kids that never want to listen. They're the ones that think they're the best. We got this kid, Tyler. Coach, I should be pitching more. I'm the best pitcher on this team. Well, we're pitching the best pitchers on this team. You're good, but you haven't been doing what we've been trying to tell you, so we can't really use you. I'm the best pitcher, coach, by far. I should be pitching more. Do you want to look at the stats? Look, here's the stats right here. I got them on Game Changer. Look at that. You have the worst strike percentage of the pitchers on our team. The worst strike percentage, right? You have the highest ERA, and you have the most walks per inning. So you're like our worst pitcher on this team. Yeah. Oh, my God. Now his mom is furious. She's emailing the league trying to get the volunteer assistant coach fired. You know what I'm saying? He's traumatized my son. Really? I traumatized your son? It wasn't the 3 divorces and the time you slept with the coach's dad? That didn't traumatize him? Right? Seriously? No, if he'd have talked to my son that way, I'd have gone at him with a baseball bat. Really? Bring it on. All right? If your swing is anything like your son's, you have a 0.37 chance of hitting me, okay? Yes. So those of you who've coached laughed the hardest at that joke. And then you got to walk that line, right, between supportive dad and disappointed coach. Be riding home after a game. Owen's in the back seat like, hey, buddy, you know when you lollygagged that pass ball, let the winning run score, cost us the game. And that really reminded me how great you're getting at Fortnite. All right, keep that up. Yes. My son loves comedy, but he doesn't always get my sense of humor, I can tell you that. I'm riding with him in the car, and there's one of those guys in like a chicken suit standing out of the road, spinning like a 50% off arrow and dancing around. Owen looks up and he's like, Daddy, what's he advertising? College. Yeah, so I'm laughing. I'm like, hey, remember that. I got to write that down. That'll be funny in Daddy's at college. Owen's like, I don't get that. How's that even funny? College. Because if he went to college, he wouldn't be out there spinning a sign, okay? Stay in school. He thought about it for about 30 seconds. He goes, you know what, Daddy? You're not as funny as Brian Regan. I'm like, that's all right. You're not as good as your buddy Zach at baseball. Got the stats right here. But I love him, you know? And like I say, I know it's up to me to teach him about the world. And like I say, I don't know. So I've been struggling with that over the years, trying to figure out, what do I teach him, right? So I read a bunch of different religions and philosophies, and the closest I've been able to find to like one core truth, I think, that works through it all is love, right? All the greats agree that. We should all love one another. All of them agree. Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Dave Matthews, right? John Lennon. Right? They all say, just love everybody, right? And I want to love everybody, but man, have you met everybody? Seriously, I haven't even met everybody, and I don't like quite a few already. Yeah, Jesus never sat in traffic, okay? That's my point of view. Yes. It's easier to love your neighbor when he's 3 sheep fields away, okay? Yes. Yeah. I think that's why that commandment's in the Bible. It was way easier back then. Like, hey, have you seen Frankie? No, I haven't seen him in weeks. Love that guy. Just saying, I want to love people, but I think mean things, and in the car I get mad. Love your neighbor as thyself. I don't think my neighbor wants me touching him that way. I'm not doing that. You know? Love everybody. Can y'all love everybody? I can't even love my friends and family all the time, right? My wife is the most beautiful angel on this planet, and I can't love her 24/7. Right? Some of y'all are in love in here, right? You ever be riding together in a car when you're both hungry? Yeah, it's hard to maintain love the whole time, isn't it? Even if the argument's only going on in your head, it's going on again. Where do you want to eat today? I don't care, anywhere. All right, cool. How about some Chinese? No, I don't want Chinese. You literally just said anywhere 2 seconds. Every day we go through why are you going left? You know, perfectly well, all the restaurants I like are down here on the right. Like, I should eat an hour ago. Like, oh my God, now you're in this guy's bumper. You know, I hate it when you drive this way. Please slow down. You're only doing this to be a jerk. This people's only 35. You're going to get another ticket. We can afford another ticket. Our insurance went up. Why are you parking over here when the shade is clearly over there? It's like cheese and rice. Yeah, I get out of the car. I find myself coveting my neighbor's wife. You know, she looks so quiet from a distance. Just saying, it's hard. So I tried, I did it, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when I'm driving and my wife is teaching me how to drive, right? I don't even say anything, right? I just reach over quietly and turn off the passenger airbag. And sometimes that works. I'm just saying. Love is hard, right? Because I get anger. I don't mean to. I don't even need to be in a car to get road rage anymore. I'm just getting people in general rage, you know? Right? Just walking through a mall or a Walmart, and people got to stop in the middle of the walkways and have their conversations of what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. You know, I can't tell you how many times in my head in a week I'm like, would you go, please? You almost caught an elbow in the back of the throat right there, lady. Come on, move your oxygen tank. The rest of us have things to do with our lives. Right? I know, that's not loving at all. I'm arguing with inanimate objects. right? I'm having an argument with Siri. I'm asking for directions to a coffee shop. She gives it to me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go to that one. Next closest, Siri, next closest. She kept not, I'm yelling at my phone, and Siri finally goes, I can no longer help you. And my phone shut off. Right? Here's the worst one. I'm in a grocery store. I'm in a bad mood already, and I find myself arguing out loud with the self-checkout U-scan machine, right? It's talking to me like I'm stupid in front of other people. Like, beep. Please place your item in the bag. Well, haha, my item's already in the bag. Look here, it's right here. Please see the cashier. I am the cashier! My stuff is in the bag already. Yeah, now the supervisor's like, sir, you can't be yelling like that and using that kind of language in our store. Really? Screw you then. I quit. How about that? Yeah, I don't want to work here anyway, man. Everywhere we go now, we work for them, right? You go to the airport, you check yourself in, you pick your own seat, you print your own boarding pass, then they want to charge me for my bag. Shouldn't I get an employee discount for all the crap I just did around here? I should have opened with this joke. So here's where I'm in a grocery store late one night. All the lanes are closed except for the self-checkout, right? So I got a cart, I see it, I'm gonna try out my joke. I'm like, yo, somebody wanna ring me up over here? Got a cart. She's like, sir, they only open a self-checkout, come use this. Yeah, what if I don't feel like working tonight? I already had to clean my own table at Chipotle, this is overtime. She's like, sir, we do this so that you can save money on items throughout the entire store, okay? This whole system is set to benefit you, the customer, if you'll just think about it for 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't need to think about it. It doesn't benefit me, all right? I used to come to the grocery store, you'd ring it up, bag it, take it out of the car. Now I go to the grocery store, I'm ringing it up, I'm bagging it, I'm taking it out of the car. Hate for 5 years from now when I show up and, hey, it's my turn to mop the store for you, right? They can save a few pennies, I'm down aisle 7. Dude, what are you doing? I'm saving 53 cents on Pop-Tarts. That's what I'm doing. Please place the mop on the floor. Well, I appreciate y'all coming out to this. This is cool, you know. I appreciate that I'm doing it, you know. Because, you know, I've been doing comedy a long time. I don't really get on television a lot, to be honest, you know. Here's why. Let me do this. This is kind of a weird way to end here on the special, but I want to read you this. This explains how the comedy industry works a little bit and how this dry bar, you guys are helping do this thing differently, right? So I got this email. I was kind of excited at first. Hey, Tom, my name is Jaden, and I'm a casting producer with America's Got Talent on NBC. You were recommended by a comedy club in Savannah as one of the best comedians in the area, and I wanted to chat with you to see if you'd be interested in the next season of the show. So I've been in comedy a long time. I've auditioned for all these things before. So I know the deal, so I sent him back this instantly. Well, while interested and thankful, I'm almost positive I am not what you're looking for on that show. I currently live in North Carolina. I'll gladly come to one of the auditions and show y'all what I can do. I have a wide range of material. I appreciate you reaching out to me. Let me know when and where the cattle cars are, and I will gladly come audition. Thanks again. So he gets back to me immediately. Hey, Tom, just curious why you don't think your stuff is a good fit. If it's a dirty content thing, we can always work around that. Ha ha. I don't really know how that's funny, but he's the expert. It's like, no, I can do clean. Like I said, I work clubs, dive bars, cruises. I can adjust. Just experience with the industry tells me you're not looking for me, all right? Although, in all honesty, the comedy's solid and funny, and I'd love the opportunity to show you what I can do. Maybe I'm just being cynical. He's like, ha, 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 ha. No. We have all types of comedy, Tom. Can you send me some of your faster sets? Again, I've been doing comedy 20 years. I don't know what faster set means. Sure, here's a long set I recorded in Afghanistan that people seem to like. It has a bunch of jokes on it. Here's a link. Here's a more recent one about money and the Federal Reserve Bank. And here's a link. Hey, Tom, I think you're really, really funny, but this stuff would be too smart for the show. Ha ha. Do you have anything else that's a bit dumbed down? He literally said that about a show. That's what they think about you guys, right? Just saying. So I sent him this back. Give me a week or two. I'll record me reading this exchange aloud on stage.
Local man robs Wendy's with alligator. We're the alligator boys now.
And the lady, if they sitting in the bank, should be going, Mom,